I'm an actor. I've been doing theater for a little while now, and I've been exposed to quite a bit of improv. One of my biggest issues with improv is that people like to play children. When both partners in a scene are playing children, it's never good. I have never watched two screaming children argue over shit that doesn't matter and thought, wow, this is really how I want to spend my time. And I don't think I ever will. I apparently am in the minority. I've seen it so many times, and other people seem to enjoy it somehow. It's always super cliche. It's always like they're arguing over one sibling took the other's hairbrush and whatever, and they're yelling for their mom. They're like, yeah, and they're just arguing, and they're, you know, using a child voice, and it's just this like really annoying, like, oh my god, and they're just whining, and it's frustrating. It's not funny. It's not entertaining. It's not interesting. It's not even cringy. It's worse to be frustrating, because when it's cringy, at least I can have some laughs about this afterwards. I guess feeling cringe is enjoyable to some extent, but being frustrated is just not enjoyable. You know, I find no enjoyment in being frustrated. Scenes involving children can work as long as one person, at least, is not playing a child, but I feel like a good rule of thumb is just don't don't play children. For the fucking love of God, do not play children. I have never seen it work. I never have. Out of all the times that I watched improv, I have never enjoyed a scene involving children. Another thing that I see a lot is people just arguing and just being angry. I get why people play angry, and I get why people play children. It's the easiest thing to do. I feel like anger is the easiest emotion to fake. Easy does not always, and oftentimes just doesn't equal good. I feel like the majority of improv scenes that I've seen were just arguments. Sometimes it works. Most of the time it doesn't, because there is no substance to the argument. It's just, we're yelling because then we're loud, and loud equals funny. It doesn't. Loud does not equal funny. Let me tell you that right now, right here, right now. Loud does not equal funny. It can be. Yelling and screaming can be funny. Most of the time it's not done well. A lot of the time it feels forced. Just because being angry and being a child and being an angry child is easy doesn't mean it's a good idea. Anger is very restricting. You know, it's very hard to like be at this very high level of intensity, very high anger and just screaming, and to come down from that in a way that feels natural. Arguments can work. At some point in the scene, the arguing has to stop. It can stop and then start, but it has to stop. Angry silence. That's a good and easy way to do it. Stop arguing, stare at each other angrily, and then get back into it. I guess don't argue for too long is really what I'm saying. If your scene's like 3 minutes long, don't argue for 3 fucking minutes. And speaking of long scenes, don't have those that I know of. There is no like amount of time that an improv scene should be. It could be a minute, it could be 8 minutes, as long as it's not too long. And that really depends on the scene. Oftentimes, I see people not know how to end a scene, so they let it go on for too long. And that's not good. If you can't find a natural end to a scene, then that probably means there isn't one. And that's fine. If you can't see a natural end, then just end it. Say scene. Saying scene and ending it abruptly before it's dying, or even while it's dying, is so much better. Don't reference scenes that happened before yours, because it's weird and so weird. It's a new scene, it's a completely new world, so don't bring up scenes that happened before. I've only seen it once, and it was so jarring in the worst way. That happened. It happened. Don't reference it directly, and don't reference don't do it badly. It's even worse. And in general, I guess, stay away from pop culture. You don't know what your partner's seen or what they haven't seen. I've been in that situation where someone has referenced something directly and I don't know what to do. I can't make up something, because if someone brings up like astrophysics and you know nothing about astrophysics and you're just making it up, that works. But if a partner brings up Game of Thrones and the other person has never seen an episode and knows nothing about it, you know, you can't make up something about like Game of Thrones or Rick and Morty or, you know, shit like that without just looking like a f***ing idiot. Just stay away from pop culture. I know it's funny, I know it's like, oh, you know, topical, I guess, but stay away from pop culture, and definitely stay away from politics. I feel like those are kind of unspoken rules of improv that not everyone follows, but I feel like everyone should. Improv is not the place to bring up your political views. You know? Chances are someone in the audience is going to get offended. I've had people like that are running improv events, things, classes, bits, say don't make pop culture references unless you've established with your partner that they're on the same page as you. Don't bring it up. It's not really for the audience's sake, because if they don't get it, you know, whatever. And also, don't base your scene off of something of pop culture. Don't have a Rick and Morty scene where one partner's Rick and the other partner's Morty. That's not original. I think it's kind of harder to do that, really. There is one definite rule to improv. Yes, and if something is established in a scene, then it's there. If someone says they're holding a banana, don't say, that's not a banana, that's a rattlesnake. That draws everyone out of the scene. Work with your partner. Don't actively work against them. I've seen that before. I've seen scenes where one partner is like very clearly working against the other person. It's just a douchey thing to do, really. You're just being an asshole. You're making yourself look like an asshole. Just don't do it. I've only seen this once, and it was in my theater class I'm taking right now. And I don't know if it was that it wasn't explained well enough, or if I guess they just weren't getting it. We're playing a game called Freeze, which is a very common improv game. I've played it a lot. I don't like it. Let me take that back. I don't like being a part. I like watching it. I think it's a good improv game. I'm just bad at it because I think too much. I'm gonna explain Freeze. Actually, no, I'm not going to. If you want to know what Freeze is, ask in the comments and I'll explain it. When someone yelled freeze, they didn't start a new scene. They got into the scene and they either continued it, or worse, they restarted it. There was like one joke and it kept getting repeated. A couple people, they did like start a new scene, but then people would either do that scene or go back to the first scene. Yep. So that's about it. That's my video. I'll see ya the next time I upload a video. I promise. Oh, I've said this so many times. I'm gonna try and have a regular uploading schedule. I'm thinking I'm gonna shoot for Wednesdays or Thursdays, just like Jenna Marbles. I'm not even gonna try for that. I'm gonna try and upload a video every week. No promises. Don't forget to like and subscribe and ring the notification bell, I guess. Leave a comment down below what you want to see me do. I'm running out of ideas already. Wow, this is bad. Bye.